Hello, my name is Jason Tiedick, and I've got something incredible to share with you that'll change the way you look at classroom training. I'm not going to sell you on the importance of classroom training. If you're viewing this video, you already know it's an essential aspect of any training strategy. If you're looking to raise your ROI, engage employees who are disengaged, or just make the workforce a lot more fun, then you've come to the right place. So what exactly will you be learning in this classroom training masterclass? Well, for starters, you'll learn how to create trust with each trainee before the class even starts. You'll also be learning how to use proven techniques to generate more credibility and more rapport. Look, I can go on and on about the pain points we'll be solving in this mastery course. Or you could do yourself a big favor and check out our course page today and see how we'll get you to the point where you can motivate any trainees while simultaneously increasing engagement and retention in less time. It's your call. Let this opportunity pass you by or answer the door when opportunity comes a-knocking. I look forward to seeing you on the inside. We're going to start with how to answer any question, and to do this, there are 4 steps. You can write these down with me on 181 at the bottom. There are 4 things that every great trainer has to do to answer questions effectively. If you look up here, inviting questions, paraphrase, handle, and conclude, those 4 things, this step-by-step formula that I'm going to teach you was actually designed and built over a course of about 5 years where I was coaching trainers. And I was watching trainers answer questions, and I was watching them answer questions, and I was watching them answer questions. And then I was coaching them doing all of those things. And I realized that they all had one thing in common: the best trainers that were able to answer questions effectively. Thanks for asking that, Kate. What other questions do you have about this room?
What is the name of this room?
So Andrea, you're wondering what this room is called so people know how to get here?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Got it. You know, I have a few thoughts on that, Andrea, but I want to get you the exact name of this room. So go ahead and write that down, and I'll answer that for you at the end of class. Thanks for asking. What other questions do you have about this room? I'm going to show you how to remain in charge no matter what's happening. Write this with me on the top of 198. You're in control, but you want them to think they are. You're in control, but you want them to think they are. Here's the reality. If you don't share control with, write this down with me as well, if you don't share control with your trainees, they will take it from you. And the fault finders have a motivation of, what do you think it is? Power and attention. And here's what you do with them. You listen. And you use a parking lot with them. I taught you the parking lot. Do you remember what it was? I said to you, you have to be able to say, if it's out of scope, hey, go ahead and write that down. I'll answer that at 4:30. That's your parking lot. Number 3, you want to turn the issue back on them. If they're a fault finder that says, yeah, but why is the button up there? Why did we choose to set it up like this? Why did our department choose to set it up? Andrea's laughing. Does this happen to you, Andrea? All the time. So why did we do this? The number 1 answer to that question is with a question. You say, well, how did you set it up before this system? And guess what happens? There's only going to be 2 answers. They either set it up before and loved it, and you can say to them, hey, if that's true, we'll leverage that together. Now we're a team. Or they had it set up before and they hated it. And you can say to them, hey, if that's true, I'm going to show you a cool solution to that. And now we're a team again. That's what this chapter is about. How do you end the class in getting them feeling buoyed and energized? It's actually an art. You can learn this. Most trainers have never heard it. Most trainers spend all their time thinking about the intros and very little time thinking about how to end this thing. You're going to be up in front of trainees, and they're going out on a limb right now. They're scared. They got to use this stuff, and for you to say, hey, you're getting this. That's a patriarch or matriarch that's talking to them. That's somebody that they can look up to and say, wow, that trainer in this eval, that trainer made me get, I got it. That trainer cared about me. That's what's going to happen from this. We are now ready, if you look on page 247, for this. Ensure individual success. And if you look on page 247, I want you to read something with me. It says, before you send your trainees on their merry way, it's critical that you ensure, underline this, that they understand the key concepts you taught and can do the necessary tasks they need for their roles. We're going to move on to that one. It's called the independent assessment. I have to say this. I'm so excited to say this. This is by far one of the most powerful and influential things you can do in all of your training, and it happens at the end of every one of your classes. Not at the end of every day, at the end of the whole class. And I'm going to suggest that you save 30 minutes for this thing. It's that awesome. So if you were normally going to end your class at 5 every day, guess what you're going to do? You're going to end it at 4:30 now, so you can get this thing in. Now, what is this thing? Look at on page 251. It says, actually, it's not 251, it's 250. Let's read it together. An independent assessment is a way to find out if trainees are able to what? Perform critical tasks. Everyone that's watching this video, most of you are going to be training in EMR. I can't even begin to tell you how many critical tasks there are in an EMR that you must find out if they can do before you send them on their merry way. And if you look on 260, this is your goal, isn't it? You want to get a 5 from everybody. You want these evals to just be up, 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 up. But you also don't just want the evals to go up. You want your whole organization's ROI to go up. And you also just don't want the ROI to go up. You want your trainees, most importantly, to be happy and successful and save their time. And you don't want your trainees to be happy. You want their patients. That's the most important thing, to be happy.
Well, I think what makes this class different is that it's interactive and hands-on, and I can really practice the tools that I'm learning while I'm learning them. And so that helps me to feel more comfortable and know that I can do it, and that it's going to make a difference for my, my classes.
I definitely feel there's a strong return on investment. I think that we are at a point where we need to enhance our training sessions in some way, and I think this is our opportunity to do that, to change the way in which we present the classes. So this will give our trainees a chance to really enjoy our classes, and I think that will be definitely a large return on investment for us.
I got to believe that when I leave this, after taking this course, that I will be a much better trainer and I will feel much better about my classes. There are times when we're out there as trainers where we don't feel things went as well as it should have, but with some of the tools that we've been given here today, this should be able to help us with all of our classes moving forward.
What makes this class different is that rather than just sitting and listening to several hours of lecture, I can actually put into practice what I'm learning as I'm learning it, which helps solidify everything that I'm learning.
Again, this is a hands-on training, and it's just interactive, and Jason's so great at making me feel comfortable, just because I am new at this and this is a new position for me. So, you know, it kind of gets rid of that nervousness, and I'm able to get right in there and get my hands dirty and practice what I'm learning.
So as a lead, I feel it's really important that as I'm going through this class, I'm realizing that we need to not only attend it the first time and be really active in it and incorporate things into our training at that point, but as an ongoing learning experience, coming back and reevaluating and reassessing ourselves, but also reattending portions or all of this class on a yearly or every other year basis, just to, again, incorporate more of those pieces. We've learned so much in the last 2 days that I think that I won't be able to incorporate all of them right away, but I can as I start to readdress this on a yearly or by every other year basis.
I think this class is different from other classes that I've attended because it's much more interactive, and there's a lot more there are a lot more exercises that keep you engaged through the day, and Jason really puts the material that he's teaching into practice in this class, and you can see how effective it is.
one thing I've heard before from previous leadership is that you can't train someone how to train. And I think that this class really kind of blows that idea out of the water, that you can give several really tangible, which is really important to me, tangible, practical tips that you can use immediately. That's important.
It's extremely worthwhile. Jason keeps your attention all day long, and so you just find that you are learning so many actionable things that you can use right away, and you just definitely get a lot out of the courses.
Some of the things that I've gotten out of this class have been how to leverage my strengths that my peers and Jason have helped me identify, and how to use those to work on the areas that could use some improvement, or maybe some personal goals that I have for myself.
I think that the assessments were challenging as a new trainer, but I think they were extremely useful, and they gave me a great boost of confidence once we had actually done them, and it was great to be able to hear from other people what my strengths were and some of the areas that I could work on more, because those are things that you don't always realize yourself when you're thinking about your own presentation.
I think what's most helpful is the easy to use and concepts that you can use right away, or tips that you can use right away, techniques that you can use immediately and that are pretty easy to incorporate into your class, such as the agree and see if you're right, the etch-a-sketch, and the buddy system techniques. Those are all techniques that I don't currently use that I could use rather immediately with very little effort to incorporate those into my class.
I have used some of these classes already, or some of these techniques already, and they have worked immediately. One of the things that I like to work on is to try to keep my questions in scope, and I was able to use some of the questioning techniques that Jason taught us by putting those into practice right away.
Sure, I think I maybe reach more learners, try just a different technique, make sure that everyone is engaged, make sure that everyone's following along with me and understanding what the heck I'm talking about.
The feedback that I've gotten from my peers has been completely invaluable. They've pointed out things that I haven't noticed about myself, as well as encouraged me to use some of the natural strengths that I already knew that I have.